Hey everybody, this is Miss Kopak. So we're going to read chapter 4 in 26 Fairmount Avenue today. Hopefully you've been enjoying the stories so far. Uh, you're going to need your book and your packet. And a little bit of background knowledge for this chapter. You're going to hear Tommy mention fashion plates. And fashion plates, back in the 1930s, they were a very popular toy. It's an art toy that you actually get these little trays or plates that have different outfits on them, and you trace over them and color them in. So you kind of get to design your own clothing or fashion styles. And they still have them in toy stores today. And I actually had one when I was little that I would play with. But you can see a picture of it on your screen. And since it was a fashion toy, it ended up becoming a nickname for people who were very stylish or wore very cool clothes. So if you are a very stylish person, somebody might call you a fashion plate because you're always wearing really cool clothes. And speaking of clothes, you're also going to read the word beret. And this is a French word. A beret is a hat, like you see this girl wearing. It's kind of a floppy, lopsided hat. It came from France and became popular all over the world, but it's usually associated with French people and French culture. And you're going to read the word plasterboard. Plasterboard is like a very thick cardboard that is used to make walls on buildings and houses. So you can see in this photograph, the man is putting plasterboard to make a wall. And then after he has the boards all up, he'll paint over them, maybe add some wallpaper or some different colors, however the people want their wall to look. All right, so go ahead and open up to chapter 4. It's page 24. And if you need to pause the video at any time, you can go ahead and do that. All right, so chapter 4 starts off right after the Christmas of 1938. My dad had a big fight with the man he had hired to build the house. My mom and dad wanted the house to be built a certain way, but the builder didn't listen to them. I'm paying for it, Dad said, and they fired the builder. So 26 Fairmount Avenue just sat there all winter without any work being done. My dad and mom would put Buddy and me in the car and drive by to look at the sad, unfinished house. Maybe we would have to live in apartments forever. Easter came. Easter was always fun because every year the Easter Bunny brought Buddy and me Easter baskets. I always got a stuffed animal too. My favorite was a duck. We got new outfits to wear to church on Easter Sunday. My mom must have loved to dress up Buddy and me because there are pictures and home movies of us, Buddy in long pants, a jacket and necktie, me in shorts, a striped shirt, and a beret. We certainly were what grown-ups call fashion plates. Guess what? My dad said one day in the spring. Johnny Papalo, Tony Nesci, and a few of my other friends are going to help us finish the house. Hooray! I might get to live in our house at 26 Fairmount Avenue after all. Now we're on page 26. But before my dad's friends could start work, the city decided that Fairmount Avenue would be a real street with telephone poles and streetlights. Machines came and scraped away lots of dirt, which made the street lower. Suddenly, our house, which had been on a small hill, was way up in the air. My mom cried. My dad said some bad words. Now, a wall would have to be built to keep the front yard from falling into the street. Stairs would have to be made so we could get to the front door. And last but not least, they would have to put in a steep driveway so we could get to the garage. Until all this was done, no one could work on the house because no one could get up to it. And the new street was still just dirt. Every time it rained, the street turned to mud. Well, my father's friends were really smart men. They just got boards and loads of wooden planks and made a long walkway up to the house. Mr. Johnny Papalo, Mr. Tony Nesci, and all the others started to work. Soon, the roof was on the house, and the inside walls were up. They were made of plasterboard, which was like heavy cardboard. Later, men called plasterers would come and smear wet plaster over the plasterboard, and it would dry into smooth white walls. Now we're on the next page. But before the plasterers came, Mr. Johnny Papalo gave me a piece of bright blue chalk from his toolbox. He knew I wanted to be an artist when I grew up. I looked at those blank walls and knew what I wanted to do. I asked my mom if I could make drawings of the family on the walls. She and my dad talked about it, and finally my dad said, "Okay, Tommy, Mom and I decided that you can make pictures on the plasterboard, but as soon as the plasterers come, no more drawing on the walls, okay?" Sure, it was okay, but maybe if they saw how great my pictures were, they'd keep them. I decided I would give each person in the family a special corner in what was going to be our living room. I put Mom and Dad in a corner by the fireplace. I put my grandfather Tom in the other corner. I put me there too. I put Buddy and Nana downstairs and Nana Fall River by the kitchen. That way they wouldn't have far to go. I didn't draw Nana upstairs because she had died and gone to heaven a few months before. The corner by the front door was for Uncle Charles and his girlfriend Viva. Along the wall, I drew some cousins looking out the two windows. Now we're on page 30. We didn't have real stairs to the second floor yet, so I couldn't go up to the bedrooms. Mom had already told me that the biggest one was for her and Dad, and the smallest one was the just-in-case nursery. Later, we needed it for my sisters Maureen and Judy. If I could have gotten up there, I would have gone into the room Buddy and I were going to share and marked which side was mine, but that would have to wait. The plasterers finally came and covered over all my beautiful drawings. I was mad about that, but my grandfather Tom told me that was perfect because they'd always be there under the plaster and wallpaper. That made me feel better. Tom always made me feel better. With everything moving along smoothly, my dad started talking about the backyard project. The backyard was filled with weeds and tall grass and stuff. It would be plowed and smoothed so grass could be planted. "I'm going to wait for fall to get here for the backyard project," Dad said. "Maybe we can start on the front wall and the steps up the walkway to the front door." But before they did, guess what? The city came back and scraped more and more dirt away from the street. Our house was even higher up in the air than before, and we needed the wall more than ever. My mom kept crying. My dad kept using more and more bad words. So there was a few surprising things in that chapter. Did you notice that Tommy said that Nana upstairs had passed away? That's pretty sad to hear. And also it said that in the future he ends up having two little sisters. It mentioned their names, Maureen and Judy. So in the future he ends up having some more siblings. That's pretty surprising news. Go ahead and get your chapter 4 questions. And your first question that you have to answer says, why did Tommy's father have an argument with the builder? A, the builder was wasting his money. B, the house wasn't completed in time. C, the builder wanted to build the house a certain way, but his dad disagreed. And D, the builder wanted to build the house on a hill. Number 2, why might people call Tommy and Buddy fashion plates? A, they were interested in wearing fancy clothes. B, their mother dressed them up in a fancy way. C, they wanted to wear new outfits to church. Or D, Easter was their favorite holiday. Question number 3, how did Tom make Tommy feel better after his drawings were being plastered over? Oh, sorry, it says, how did Tom make Tommy feel better about his drawings being plastered over? A, he told him he could make more drawings. B, he said they'd always be under the plaster. C, he told him he could do a better job next time. Or D, he said the drawings would have ruined the walls. And the last question, why was Tommy's house so high up from the street? A, the city scraped the dirt away from the street to pave it. B, the city added dirt to the hill under Tommy's house. C, the builder built the house up high on a hill. Or D, the city needed to build stairs to get to Tommy's house. All right, so I'll see you in the next video when we read chapter 5, which is one of my favorite chapters in the whole book. So see you then, guys.